We're doing a 12-hour game on Monday the 21st of December. We're going to do it all in one session, so you guys can hear, can write ideas in chat, think up of encounters, help me design maps, and then watch the game be played on Monday the 21st with the crew. So that is super exciting. I am hyped to do this. It's going to push the boundaries of my patience, my endurance, and my ability to stay focused for 12 hours. So how's it going, Nix? Greetings, Master Chat. Let's put this here or something. Maybe that's better. I can see it a bit bigger. Suddenly we're not doing spaghetti. Like, we just don't have the copyright to it. It's too big for Encounter Roleplay. I'm going good. I'm doing good. I still like the happy accident idea of ducks. Yeah, Duck Son. The bird-like encounters. Cool. So what we need to start off with first is I think I might break it down in my mind, in my body, to different sections. So we have 12 hours. It says trying to type in Google Documents, which is always a pain in the ass. Cool. 12 hours. I think we can do 3-hour session. What is wrong with Google Docs? 4 hours and 1 hour break. And this again, basically. Just because we can't stay focused for that long time, actually in character. So we'll take an hour break off every 3 hours. And then this one will be, and then 1 hour DM7. Cool. So this is how we're going to do it. So this is how we're going to break it down in our minds, because 12 hours is such a long amount of time that if we just tackled it as 12 hours initially, then we would have way too much to do. I vote we have at least one section that involves sailing and or pirates or sea monsters. There we go. Chat longer. Alright then. We'll do that. So, the first 3 hours... Let's do this. First section. Can't spell. First section, we need to, like, introduce to the setting, campaign, and provide motivation for the players to start the story, I guess. So we need to have an initial something which happens, which sets off the story. Can spaghetti and or goats be involved in some way? Yes, I suppose they can. Yeah, we can do that. We'll find a way to include them. Could be jousting and or murder mystery tournament. We could start with that kind of tournament idea, couldn't we? Let's think of settings first. Setting ideas. Also, I should make this Google document open for you guys, so you can come in and write stuff with me. How do I share this? Thank you. I want to get shareable link. Anyone can edit. I'm trusting you guys not to screw up the doc with spam. But there you go. Green Knight comes to King Arthur's court and challenges all night to a contest. We'll involve the... Well, okay, so first of all, we need to... Like, setting ideas. First of all, we have this Arthurian setting, which I like. We have Dark Sun. I mean, we could set it in one of the pre-existing canons of Encounter. We could have it in, like, Broken Kingdom. Rome. There's another one, wasn't it? Roman campaign. Was another idea we had previously. Old England, Albion theme, yeah. So that's kind of Arthurian, isn't it? Kind of Old England, ye old England. I like that. I need to print this down so you guys can see this properly. There you go. So let's have... one sec. So we could do like a straw poll or something on this. Ravenloft is a good idea, yeah. Yeah, why don't we get some ideas and then we'll straw poll it and see what we will like the most. I can't remember if we had any other setting ideas, or if I had any. I should have written these down before. Ravenloft is pretty cool. I could find some Ravenloft sources. So let me create a Strawpollaroo. Come on, you can do this. Everything slows when I stream, so. Ducksun. Ducksun is up there. Ducksun's always on the list. Come on, Strawpaw, you got this. Yeah. Alright, here we go. Let's copy these. So we had Arthurian, we had like Roman, Darksun, Ravenloft, Roman. Oh no, we had that one. The only one's Broken Kingdom, I think. You don't do enough England stuff for an English historian game. Yeah, you're true. It's right. 12-hour game setting. All right. Let's allow multiple choices. And hand this over to you guys. Move there. There you go. Let's see what you said there. Having Valley for Kingdom of the Four Winds, which is kept in a perpetual state of paradise by the Ventus Stone, a large emerald with the power of the wind. The king is abdicating the throne and will turn over the kingdom to the most worthy warrior, hence the tournament, but someone steals it right before it's presented to the new ruler. How's it going, Tice, buddy? We're making a module today. Throwing your ideas. As you can see, I've got this handy little thing up on my left, so you can read that down. So far we are just taking a quick straw poll vote as to the setting that we want to run this 12-hour game in. Because we are kings of marathons here at Engana Roleplay. We just love doing them. Let me see what the results are looking like. Got a lot for Arthurian. We have some for Broken Kingdom, Darksun, Ravenloft. I don't think I'll vote. I think I'll keep out of this one. Leave it up to you guys. So yeah, let's see how many we've got. We've got 12 votes, 4 for Arthurian. I'll leave it up for just a minute more and then we'll go with Arthurian if we don't have anything else. If nothing else changes. So, if we were to go with Arthurian, then yeah, some kind of tournament idea is a good one. Tournaments are good because everyone travels to everyone has to travel to tournaments, so they can come in from different ways. Alright, looks like we're going to go with Arthurian. Broken Kingdom's close second, then Darksun, Ravenloft, and Roman afterwards. So let's go with that. Cool. So, Arthurian it is. Tournament. I like the idea that the king is abdicating. Does it have to be King Arthur? That's the question. Do we have to set it in actual, this is King Arthur? Or we could set it afterwards, like Arthur's dead. Arthur is dead, and so, like, everything's fucked. I like that. Maybe King Arthur died a long time ago. And it's like his, what's left of Camelot and stuff. Tournaments, jousting, archery, league onto rivalry, maybe goes drastically wrong. When do rivalries go right? I mean, well, okay, King Arthur is dead. I like this. Because if we set it in the golden age of Arthur, everything's too good, you know? Everything's too nice. Yeah, tell me the Green Knight story. King Arthur's dying. That's another good one. Yeah, that's a close one, actually, because I like the idea that King Arthur's dead because everyone looks at Camelot as if it used to be a golden age, it used to be this great place of virtue, but now maybe Camelot is actually a bit more of a den of thieves, or in a den of corruption than it once was. And if he's dying, then that could lead on to different sort of quests. King Arthur dead, Camelot's about to fall into ruins, group of adventurers will play it, yeah. Decide its fate, I like that. Have you heard of King Uther? I have, yeah. I'm fairly familiar with the legends of of King Arthur. Being an Englishman. And having watched a lot of Arthur in Legend stuff and read it as well. Alright, let's see what we got here. Green Knight offers to accept one blow from a challenger at Pentecost. Oh, then he says he's going to hit him again in a year or something. Is that what he said? Last wishes of King Arthur. Yeah. King Arthur is dead. Slash. Is dying. You could do it before King Arthur became king, yeah. A pre-Camelot. Yeah, Uther's a bit, is a bit more, ruthless. He's not as likable. I think Arthur's a bit too likable, isn't he? Oh, that's right, he goes around without head on. Classic Green Knight every time. What are you gonna do about it? I like that. How's it going, Tom? How did your chat with Josh go? Yeah, Uther's a bit cruel. It is but a flesh wound. Man. Now I've got to go watch that. King Arthur's is dying. So we have to make a decision here, chat. Are we going to set it before? We're going to set it during? Or we're going to set it after? I'm leaning towards after. I'm leaning towards maybe King Arthur's just died. How's it going, James? The fighter has been selected to fight on behalf of one of the candidates for succession. Maybe. Maybe, but... Maybe... I'm just thinking because it's 12 hours, right? So we could have the first bit being about coming to the throne, and then after 3 hours, the party are in control, like, they have control of the round table, whatever, these guys are the knights of the round table. And then from there, they have to go and, from there they have to go and help, the realm. They have to, like, save the realm from there, basically. Let's bring this up. Oh my lord, so many questions. That's good to hear, Tom. Gotta have a fluffy white bunny, yeah, if he's evil. So Sir Gawain spends a year questing to find a great chapel where Sir Gawain must not rest while his head is chopped off. Resist. Oh yeah, that's it, yeah. Hey everyone. If he's dying, I would say it's an old age and things have changed a lot. His kids are vying for the throne. Yeah, that's another thing, like political tension going on there. Who'd lay back? Sorry, dude, you gotta have a fluffy white bunny. That's the final boss. Ah, got it. Is Sir Mordred dead too? Sir Mordred could be the bad guy. I mean, Mordred's like the typical, like the classic villain, isn't he, for Arthurian legend? So, I think we might be amiss if we didn't have any kind of Mordred interaction at some point. I'd totally love a flashback scene of Uther where you play in his army, but that'd be too much planning. I mean, dude, we've got 12 hours here, so don't like. Why don't we could start off with that? We could start off with like that's possibly something that we could start off with them playing soldiers in the army of Uther or something. You also got to have Morgan the Fair, yeah, and the Lady of the Lake has got to be involved somehow. Do we involve the Holy Grail? Do we involve the fucking sword, sword and stone, all that stuff? Round Table splits into factions backing either Lancelot and Gawain, or Mordred, and the players have to choose one side to support, which leads into different quests. Help that side. Mordred's bastard son, sister. Yeah. Lady and Lake, the sword, Holy Grail, all that stuff going on. I know there's so many ideas. Morgana would be old to. She's Arthur's sister. Maybe she's an evil and doesn't age. I mean, it's D&D, so it could be fucking magic, you know. The bard of the party may sleep with the Lady of the Lake. Maybe not just the bard, Dice. We've got so many ideas. This is brilliant. So we need to nail down something here. We need to make some decisions about what we're going to do. I like the idea, like something we've been talking about, is that Arthur is dead, and then it's succession time. Who is going to succeed to the throne? Who is going to be his successor? 2 C's, yes. He's going to be his successor. If he's old, because he's dying, you know, you've got Gawain, you've got Lancelot, who are contenders for that. But then again, maybe we just want... Yeah, maybe the party members are different children of Arthur. That was what I was going to say to Nix's point. Who are Arthur's sons if he hadn't? Yeah. Maybe flashbacks to help point out who's the real successor. Like via magic, of the players take control of our actions. That's possible. Yeah, we can think about that. How much going on in my head? There's... So who's going to be a successor? I don't like the idea where they have to like choose between like one side or another. I think like having these guys take control of the throne would be cooler. Make one party members of the contender of the throne, make one so going. I don't know. I think like having run like political contests and stuff like this in the past, having one player like in charge as the successor is less interesting. I think it kind of can detract from the story and the rest of the party. So I like it that because it's a round table, Camelot is ruled. Okay, got it. Arthur dies, there is no successor, and so they need to have a round table of representatives who are gonna be his successor. Like, he leaves it to the round table, basically. He doesn't leave it to his son because he doesn't have one, and so he leaves it to his trusted friends, the Knights of the Round Table. The party are Knights of the Round Table. Sound good? I think so. Yeah. It'd be interesting if all the players had the same right to the throne, but they are not all his kids. So, maybe you like that idea, but... How about that? Sounds awesome, go for it, okay. He has no son, and so he leaves the throne to the Knights of the Round Table. Players are these knights. Don't forget Merlin. Yeah, fuck. Merlin has put the sword back in the stone. Yeah, maybe the party are descendants of the original Knights of the Round Table. That's an idea. They're not knights, maybe. They're just normal people. Maybe Merlin's gone. I think... Yeah, I like that idea, Nix. Merlin... When Arthur dies, Merlin leaves, and he takes the sword. He puts it back in the stone, because it's too powerful. We vote calling Merlin Emrys. So yeah, we need to get a bit of history sorted, don't we? So, Arthur's dead and dying. Merlin leaves, placing the sword back in the stone. Yeah, I don't think he'd stay, because then you've just got like a super powerful wizard hanging about. You know, what's he doing? But one of the players could be Merlin's like apprentice, like maybe. So we could have magic, you know. Players are his knights slash Merlin's apprentices. So you don't just have to be like a combat warrior or anything. But I do also like the idea that maybe they're not like actual knights of the Round Table. Maybe they are descendants. Oh, here we go. Descendants of the knights following the last prophecy of Merlin, saying they will have to work together to reclaim Excalibur and rule together by sharing the power of the sword, may be supported by one or many knights, but we don't know if the knight Lancelot maybe really supports them or not. Okay. Okay, so, with Arthur dead... Wait, if they're descendants of the original knights, then surely those original knights have to be dead. So you have to set it post. So you'd have to set it, Arthur's been dead for a long time, Camelot has kind of fallen to ruins, but these guys find out that they're all descendants of Arthur, and they have to set out on this quest to save Camelot. That is another way that we could do it. Or we could do it that they are Knights of the Inner Circle / Merlin's princes. Dead or just too old to keep fighting. What would be interesting if one of the party was Morgana's apprentice too. Oh, so much to think about. I mean, so here's the thing, right? Here's the thing that Tice's point brought up, is that we can do 3-hour sections with one group, and then we could switch their characters for 3 hours, you know? That's possible. They could be descendants of Morgan Le Fay, Arthur's sister, and King Lot, a Scottish king. He was a bad king, wasn't he? I seem to remember. Maybe each is a descendant of different figures based on their class, like a wizard would be Merlin, a paladin would be Arthur. Yeah, that's a good idea. Most of the knights of the Round Table died in the battle. Yeah. Okay, I like this idea. Like we said it post. Okay. Merlin is dead. Merlin has left. Albion has no ruler. The original knights ruled as a council of representatives for a time, but are old or dead at this point. So yeah, we don't need this anymore. The players are descendants of the original knights. I like the idea that Lady of the Lake and or Merlin can bring it back together. I think the Lady of the Lake maybe. Possibly Merlin. I do like Merlin. Merlin. God, I need to get John Hurt in to do the voice of the dragon first. Merlin. The players are descendants of the original knights. And or Merlin if they are spellcasters. So I think if we have like 4 players, if we had, saying we had 4 players, the kind of spellcaster would be Merlin's descendant. The yeah, like I said, a paladin could be Arthur's. Merlin, would that mean that he's like able to ascend to the throne? I don't know. Maybe they're just, maybe not Arthur, maybe like Gawain or something. You know, like a fighter would probably be like Lancelot or something, you know. They could play the battle where the originals die and its descendants in a dream. That's how they find out who they are from and go on a quest to save Camelot. Yeah, that's an idea. They could be prophecy based around a fabled sword and the Lady of the Lake. A cleric could be the Archbishop of Canterbury. Yeah. Who's tweeting at me? How dare they? Yeah, and we'll figure it. We don't need like the exacts of all of these right now. But that's something to bear in mind. Let's bold this. No, not that. I want you, and I'm gonna put you up here. Ooh, I've had a thought. I've had a naughty thought. Wizard, sorcerer, descendant of Merlin, warlock, descendant of Morgana. Yeah, that's an idea actually. Not that they're necessarily evil, but they find out that they're related, you know. I like this. I like how this is shaping up. So, they need to find out somehow. They find out that they are descended from the knights. This is a new song, I think. Like this playlist, I always play it. Oh. It's a different playlist. Fuck me. They find out they're descended from the knights. I think like the Lady of the Lake has something to do with this. Like sends them a dream. The a dream or a vision, like you were saying, Tice. Yeah, in which they get to play them dying. That's a good idea, dude. In which they are their ancestors, fighting in a battle for Camelot, I guess. And I wonder if that is kind of like, if that battle is the one in which Arthur dies in which they all die in. Maybe. Oh yeah, and there's a giveaway going on, by the way. Go and grab yourself a copy of the Sword Coast Guide. Yeah. So this vision thing is good. Percival Bard. Good shout, Tice. I forgot about Percival. Lady Lake holds an object from Merlin which causes him to have the dream. Well, maybe Merlin gave her the sword. He like he throws the sword back into the lake. Throwing the sword back to Lady of the Lake, from whence it came. Take it back, lady. Could be an opening scene where they assemble a Lady of the Lake to a joust, where heralds announce who is who by the arms they're entitled to bear in a tournament. I like this tournament thing which we've been talking about. I guess this is like background, just introduction. So yeah, so they get sent this vision by Lady of the Lake, battle, I guess. Ancestors die. Lady of the Lake, she's gonna like send them on a quest, basically. Supposedly when Arthur died, one of the knights had to return the sword for him. Yeah, but I mean, if Merlin's left it, I mean, it kind of makes sense that he might take the sword with him. Galahad, Barbarian, that's a shout. Barbarian. So, yeah, we'll have a battle in which our ancestors die, and then Lady of the Lake is going to be like, yo, we're going to need to get this going. Tells them that they are the only ones who can save Camelot and return it to its former glory. I mean, this is classic kind of Arthurian quest adventure that we're going with here. It's not a kind of, you know, it's not a super political intrigue kind of game. It's a classic, like, you need to save the world sort of quest, which I like. It's cool. The stakes are high. These are 4 people, 4 or 5 people, I guess, and without these guys, the world will end. Or Camelot, as they know it will end. Save Camelot and return it to its former glory. They are to attend a tournament in Camelot, at which they can reveal themselves to be ancestors of the Knights of the Round Table, the Kotut, as we'll call them from hence on. Knights of the Round Table. They can reveal themselves to be ancestors of the Knights of the Round Table, and prove themselves to be so. Because no one's going to believe, like... So we'll say, like, maybe one of the old knights is still alive. And, like, he remembers everything. Like, remembers his friends and stuff. And so, when these guys show up, he's going to be like, well, you know, prove that you are actually Galahad's, yeah, thank you, descendants. That they're actually descendants of Arthur and stuff. Makes them kind of tests them in the tournament. Okay, here's another thing that we need to do. Like, why is the Camelot in danger? Yeah, Arthur's dead. Yeah, the knights are all dead and stuff. But there needs to be some kind of like outside force, like, you know, Mordred's army is going to come in and take over Camelot, or you know, Camelot is corrupt from the inside. There's like a cancer eating at the heart of Camelot, and they need to find out what it is. So basically, we need to think, yeah, okay, these guys need to prove that they are the descendants of the Knights of the Round Table. But once they have proven that, and once they kind of are in charge of Camelot, what is the danger? You know, because we've got 12 hours to think of here. So let's imagine, yeah, they win the tournament, they prove themselves, and then they get in charge of Camelot. What happens then? Viking pagans. Galahad is Lancelot's son, though. He is. Oh yeah. Wait, would that be a problem? Let's think about it. I mean, we don't have to have Galahad. Like, we could cross Galahad off the list here, because he's completed the Grail quest, hasn't he? Galahad's still alive, so he's still going. So, and so maybe he's related to. So whoever is Galahad's ancestor will be Lancelot's. That could work, though. I mean, they could be related, you know, like distantly. Viking pagans have reigned to return Camelot to pre-Christian paganism. God damn those pagans. Who wants them? I hate him. So yeah, so let's think. Threats to the kingdom. Vikings. Vikings are always a threat. Always have been. Still are. What about the power of Excalibur is exhausted by maintaining Arthur's rules, so they must find it and take it to the Lady Lake so it can be reincarnated in one of the other forms from another culture. It seems like Excalibur is certainly going to play a big role in whatever quest this is, because yeah, because you know you got to Excalibur has to be involved in some ways, Arthurian, you know. So yeah, threats to the kingdom, Vikings, Mordred. Mordred might be still alive, you know. He's still like, maybe Mordred's been threatening to like invade Camelot, but he's been held in check by Galahad. But he needs help, you know. He needs the sword. That could work. Mordred working with the Vikings. Excalibur has no more juice would be cool. Yeah, I like that idea. Okay, let's also think. Or Excalibur's lost, you know. Maybe if. Okay. Just tuned in, Morgana perhaps. What about her? But yes, I do like Morgana. She's cool, especially in the BBC TV series. Those of you who haven't watched it will understand me. So, Excalibur has lost its power. Maybe they need to go find it because the Lady of the Lake has it. But when she, oh wait, no, the Lady of the Lake's actually sent her the dream, so this probably wouldn't make sense. That Lady of the Lake has it. Okay, Mordred has become King Lot, and after Galahad's death, threatens to invade England and claim the throne as his right. Is she a threat? You know what I'm talking about, Emrys. Morgana probably is a threat. Yeah, maybe she's working in tandem with, in alliance with Mordred. Excalibur's lost its power. Okay, so Merlin hasn't. Maybe he hasn't taken the sword away. So Excalibur has lost power. Galahad has it, but it needs returned to the Lady of the Lake. She could also tell them this. She could also let them know that's what's going on. Why not Merlin hid it somewhere and has had it guarded by a deadly white rabbit? That does sound like something Merlin would do, doesn't it? Merlin, you cheeky bugger. You're intent on the white rabbit, Mac, I can see this. Donate for white rabbit. Yeah. Poor rabbits. They'll just be brutally murdered by the party. Okay, he needs to be returned to Lady Lake, so this is probably going to be number 1 on the list. Like, yeah, there's Mordred and Morgana, maybe some Vikings about, but namely, Excalibur's lost his power, so before they can do anything else, we need to get the Excalibur back to his kind of form of glory. I like the idea that there's something wrong within Camelot itself, like a faction within Camelot has taken control. Galahad has no real power. You know, like, Galahad is there, but he's a shadow of his former self, and he needs help because this other faction have kind of taken control of Camelot. If Mordred is alive, maybe everyone thinks Merlin killed him, and he makes an appearance later. Oh, was killed by him, so everyone thinks Merlin's... Wait. Oh, I get you. So... yeah, so we, like, it's a reveal that it's Mordred rather than they already know that it's Mordred. That also makes sense. Yeah, so Mordred's not actually a threat, they don't think. Excalibur needs to be found and returned so it can be remade into the Kedelvich. Is that how you say that, Kedelvich? I don't know, it's fucking Welsh. No one can speak Welsh. The Welsh form of the blade. Maybe, but I cannot pronounce whatever that word is. While the party is returning Excalibur to the lake, Galahad dies and the Lady in the Lake puts Excalibur in the stone. What a bitch. What about this faction? I like this idea. Let's go with these. We'll get across the Vikings for now, because we're going on Mordred and Morgana. So when they get the tournament, they prove themselves in the tournament. Then they find Excalibur. Well, Galahad has Excalibur, but it's not working. Basically, his sword isn't working. But this happens to 1 in 4 men over 40 apparently, so it's okay. But it needs to be returned to the Lady of the Lake. So they go. But also Galahad has no real power because this kind of power, this faction within Camelot are in control, but they need to be killed basically because they're evil. Taking up part 2, Quest for a New King. Maybe they have to find Arthur's ancestor? Yeah, they have to find his son. Maybe there was a son. Maybe in like the flashback scene at the beginning they find out that Arthur has a son. Let's put it in there before we forget it. But they find out that Arthur had a son who was sent into hiding. And now we're going down the Oblivion Martin route. But I'm not the ancestor. Yes, you are, Martin. Believe me, the quest tells me that you are. So yeah, in this battle, Arthur tells them, his ancestors, look, you need to fucking get my son out of here because we're all gonna die. They send his son rather into hiding, but they don't know where. But they die in the process, so that's when they die. And so later they need to find his son. Other faction could call themselves the Shadows of Mordred or something, and could be secretly carrying out his wishes to get the kingdom ready for him to return and depose Galahad. They see a flash after the battle of a baby being born or something. I like the idea, but I think like it's more concrete if they know that he has a son. Like like the son was being born that day, and so they have to get him out, and they kind of Moses style, they send him down the river or something, you know. They send him to hiding, but then they die. So his location is lost, but then it's known to the party that there is a son, there is a true-born heir, and Galahad also knows this. But first of all, he won't tell them that yet. When they get here, he's going to tell them, look, Excalibur's not working, it needs to be returned to power, but also there's this faction who have taken control of Camelot, who are super, like, they're pro-Mordred. This faction is pro-Mordred, and actually think he would make a good, make a good ruler, slash have been bribed and twisted by Morgana's magic. Yeah, that makes sense. Like, these guys are basically zombies when it comes to actually thinking, because Morgana's twisted their mind. Guinevere isn't dead at that point. Yeah, exactly. I mean, this isn't Arthurian canon either, so we can do whatever the hell we want, pretty much, when it comes to the story. So, you know, don't feel restricted by what we know to have allegedly happened. Yeah, I like this idea that they're to take control over Camelot, but Galahad has stopped them thus far with like a small, like a skeleton force, not actually skeleton force, of a skeleton crew, I guess you call it, skeleton crew of knights. So there are like a few knights around. Knights in training, they're not actual knights, so that he can actually knight the players. Yeah, good idea, Will, you're brilliant. They could see Merlin taking the sun and a couple of knights to train as be Arthur's heir, but everyone else thought all the knights died all the rest of the battle, but they really just either lived out their days or are still alive, the heir, just very old. Maybe. I'm a god dragon. Confirmed. We could have a dragon, what the fuck not? I mean, it's D&D. I don't see a good reason not to have dragons. And you can't convince me otherwise. So they're trying to take over Camelot. We need a name for this faction at some point. Before they leave to with Excalibur, they must be deposed. Let's bring this up here. So before they leave, they need to depose this faction and put the Round Table back in power. Alright. The descendant of Merlin speaks Draconic passively. That's a good idea. I shouldn't tell them that they can actually speak Draconic. Thank you, Urban Slacker, for following. Welcome to the adventure, my friends. You're a gentleman, a scholar, and a slacker. Welcome, like myself, to the adventure. And feel free to throw out ideas in chat, my friend. Do get chatting if you want to. You're saying, free based in D&D, you have to have a dragon, I know, right? You can have the Archbishop of Canterbury lead a faction as a Roman Christian for Mordred. That's a good idea. Yeah, he's got the church on his side, Mordred. Yeah. Mordred has the Roman Catholic Church. Oops. On his side with the Archbishop. Yeah, Canterbury reminds me of Johnny English. If you've seen that. Canterbury. Backing and funding his army. I guess we could say in Scotland then, because if he's, yeah. Versus a Celtic Lady in the Lake mystical faction for Arthur's Trier. Excalibur could be the only thing that could hurt the dragon. It was trapped in the heart of the mountain that the stone came from, and it was slowly waking up through Arthur's rule, but now Excalibur's drained, it's able to break free until it's put to sleep again. or killed with a reforged blade. I like the idea that they can reforge Excalibur. I like this idea that they can forge it into separate blades, like through magic and smithery nonsense. They can forge it into separate blades. Like maybe one could be a dagger if there's a rogue. Maybe they could have like arrow tips, which are Excalibur arrow tips if you're a ranger or something, and like a sword if you're a fighter. So they can each have part of Excalibur. So as a team, rather than just one person, they can fight this dragon and Mordred and stuff, and fight evil, all that nonsense. So once they put the round table back into power, once they do this, Galahad knights them. But he's also dying. I like this. So basically Galahad's just been going because he has to. Like, he's the last guy left. He's oh yeah. Dragon Mountain's evil. I need a fire breath of a good dragon to reforge the blade. Think about it. But yeah, once he does, Galahad knights him, but he's also he's only going because he has to. And so once he's found like people that he trusts, ancestors of Arthur and himself and stuff, to put into power, he dies. He kind of like goes to sleep and just dies. That's what all people do. But he also dies once they leave, and he has left Camelot in safe hands, because it's not all about Galahad, it's about these guys, so we can get them off. There are two Christian churches in the British Isles: a native Celtic church in Iona versus a Roman Catholic church. I mean, yeah, there were, but are we saying this? How historically are we actually saying this? That's the question. Like, it could, could be a church of Bahamut or something. Wouldn't that make the legendary artifact legible? I mean, so God Dragon. No, not necessarily. You can power them however you want. You could, these swords could just be +1 swords, but they are the only things which can actually hurt Mordred, or the only things which can kill a dragon or something. Because Excalibur isn't necessarily the most awesome sword in the world. It's also kind of a symbolic thing, isn't it? Like, the heart of Camelot is Excalibur. So without Excalibur forged, Camelot dies. But once they forge it, once they forge these swords, Camelot has a chance. And so it's not necessarily this is the most awesome sword, you can kill everything. It's maybe now Camelot can live. It could be a church of Mordok. Yes, maybe it could. Good idea. Mordok's minions confirmed. Okay, so that is a section. Let's just do this. That's a section. So next section they're gonna go reforging Excalibur. They bring the sword to the lady off the lake, and she tells them that she that they need dragon fire, and then we'll get John and her to do the voice of the dragon. Did someone say Mordok spends week getting linked into now? Who knows? Who knows what happens next? What to find out in the next 24-hour stream, probably in January. Got a little wait. It was Excalibur's sheath which prevented its owner from losing blood, which is more valuable than the sword. They Dragonfire to reforge the blade into separate blades, I guess. Into, depending how many, 4 or 5 different four or five different blades, depending on how many party members there are. 4 or 5 different items, rather. That's a better word. Well, you make Google Docs look so much nicer. I've been trying to set something up and all it does make huge skips and space things weird, and it takes a million to get it fixed. I want it. I mean, It's not too difficult, is it? Like, choose a nice font and then bold things and do nice. Okay, so they bring the sword to Lady Lake. She tells them that they need Dragonfire. I like the idea of Dragonfire. I don't think we necessarily need like a good dragon and an evil dragon. I think we just have a dragon, which is like not necessarily evil and not necessarily good. It's just a dragon, you know. You know how the dragon in that TV series was kind of like on his side, but it also has its own motives. So I think this dragon is a very old, wise dragon who doesn't necessarily give no shits. Yeah. She knows of a dragon who lives in the heart of the unexplained. No, of where's that from? Can only be found in the heart of the unexplained. That is something. She knows of a dragon who lives in the heart of a mountain. True neutral dragon, yeah. I mean, it's probably like lawful cunning dragon. Comets were signs of dragons in Arthurian lore. We'll have a comet. We'll have a fucking comet, boy. We'll do it, buddy. As this happens? Or do we want to... We could, you know, foreshadow this a bit better. The party follows the comet to where it crashes. Yeah. They see like this comet falling in the sky. You have to follow it through the day to where it crashes, and that's where... yeah. She can guide them now. Using some of her last energy. Because Lady of Lake's old as well. Old. Like, something I read was, like, I like the idea because she's like like an old god. She loses power when people stop believing in her. And so because she's so old, people have stopped praying to her. Now, there's new churches, there's a Roman Catholic church. And so she's lost her power. And therefore now she has less energy to use. And so when she sends this comet out, they're not going to be able to rely on her, basically. It's going to be like, it's the same principle of Galahad. Like, there's going to be a kind of theme here that we're going to have, is like the old order of things, which from Arthur's time, old but dying, and then the Lady of the Lake, old and dying. Is that Albion, I think? Is that called Albion? In some things it is, and some it's called other things. Mordred could have an evil twin version of Excalibur called Death Caliber, where if it's stabbed into the stone, it will break the final threads that hold the power of Camelot together. Without that last magic, the kingdom will descend into chaos. That's an idea. How's it going, Jen? Good to see you. I saw you lurking now. Hope you have a good time in Ark. And lost her, kind of following, I guess, her flock. Lost many of her believers. Some still believe in the old ways. Oh, I like this, like the theme of the... okay, let's go... okay. Themes. This is just something that I want to get in my head. So I like to sometimes think of this like themes of a show, themes of a campaign, or just this arc is like, the old ways are gone, replaced by a new order, I guess, a new order of things, such as the e.g., the faction in control of Camelot, the Roman Catholic Church. Gone and dying to restore peace. These old ways must also be restored. Lady Lake is Celtic, native Christian spirituality. Mordred is supported by a Catholic, non-native Canterbury. Creepy local win. Imagine this, Mordred shows up at Castle Camelot. The gates are barred, and in order to get in, he stamps his sword on the ground, yells, "Roar, Excalibur," and a spectral dragon smashes the gates, allowing him into the castle. That could certainly happen at some point. I don't think it happens yet, though. That could be more, that's more kind of like climax stuff. We want to leave like the super awesome stuff until the end. I don't think it'd be called Death Calibur though. I think that might be a little bit kind of jokey. Depends how serious we're going, I guess. Sweet. I just got the parcel has just arrived. My copy of the Sword Coast Adventures guide has just arrived. I'll get that after the show. So she knows a dragon lives in Harlem Mountain. She can guide in there using some of the synergy. Screw you, Godox, to create a meteor, which will lead them to the lair of the dragon. Yeah. So I get like, I'm guessing this is section 1. Like, yeah, this is section 1. I think, yeah, this is all section 1. So it's gonna be called like Camelot Restored, of course. It doesn't really matter. Then Reforging Excalibur, which leads into the lair of the dragon. Dragon lair. What if the dragon is like Merlin? Emrys? Yeah. So we need to figure out what this dragon is and what the hell it's doing. The dragon is old. Good start, Will. Let's have a look at this. Oh, okay. Dragon is old and has seen the rise and fall of Camelot, watching from afar. He has no interest, no vested interest, I guess, in helping the party. But like he's a greedy dragon. In section 2, Galahad should die while the party is trying to reforge Excalibur and the sword is placed in a stone by the dragon. Yeah, maybe they find out Galahad dies. Yeah, I'll think about it. He has no vested interest in helping the party, but can be persuaded, I guess. Unless we just want him to kill this guy. From Sword and Stone. Yeah, I mean, dragon can be like fucking cray. You got learn the engine. I don't think he's just like a straight up evil dragon. Because they're boring. He's like but upon entering his lair, he has set traps. He's like, yeah, for those who have, who look to steal his hoard. Because he has a treasure hoard, he's a dragon in here. The dragon will help him reforge Excalibur in return for letting him keep one of the pieces. Yeah, that's a good idea actually. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. They will have to navigate these. But remember, the party don't actually want to kill the dragon straight up because he needs to reforge Yeah, but maybe he's got his ulterior motive. I like this. He will agree to reforging. We need a name for this dragon as well, so if you think of some names of dragons, shoot them in chat. Hey, reforging Excalibur. But we'll want to keep one of the pieces in return. He has an ulterior motive. Oops. Ulterior, there we go. Is this for a one-shot or part of an existing campaign? As you can see, up here and up there, you can see we're doing a 12-hour game on Monday the 21st of December. It's all in one shot, all one game, in 12 hours. So, there's a whole lot going on. Dragon works with Merlin and has a test for them before he helps them. Yeah. Yeah, maybe Merlin... Wow, this is some good warbling right here. Maybe these traps were left by Merlin. Merlin set traps later look to steal his hoard and harm the dragon. Who's his friend? Who was once his friend? Because it's the old ways, remember? Those are the old days. This is now. Should the sword be smashed into 7 parts and England is shattered into 7 historic kingdoms, each of a king, Mercia, Wessex, Northumbria, etc.? That's a good idea. No, Asian. Yeah, all in one day. How's it going, Jess? It's pretty exciting. It's gonna be super tiring, but we like doing marathon stuff here, so why not? Depending on the general moral choice of the party, it can create Excalibur or Death Caliber. Yeah. Yeah. An evil Excalibur. Depends how, like... Yeah, I guess. Maybe. I'll think about that. What is the ulterior motive of the dragon? He wants to keep one of these pieces of Excalibur, and the pieces of Excalibur are super, like, powerful items, you know, they're powerful magical items if used in the right way, you know. Oh, you got hit me. Yeah, I saw this, I think it's cool. Caliburn. Excalibur or Calidont? Calibad. Cali-evil. Excalibur. Evil Calibur. So here's an ulterior motive, but what is the ulterior motive of the dragon? That's the question. Why does he want a piece of the sword? Maybe he's going to betray them. Maybe he's going to take this piece to Mordred. I've got an idea. To Mordred. And this, and you're going to like this, and this is how Mordred creates Death Caliber. Yeah, his own version of Excalibur. You're liking it. The dragon wants to rule Cornwall as its king. Just Cornwall. Cornwall is such a lovely place that he just wants Cornwall. It's funny hearing all these places. I've been to Cornwall. It's a nice place. Dree, dragon cannot live in the party, yeah. Yeah, that's true. He wants treasure. All dragons want treasure, it's true. Maybe Mordred's promised him more. Reforged blades in 7 parts, wants to keep one of the parts of his own so he can rule as king. Yeah? I think about that. 7 different factions is a lot to deal with. Conspiracy theory ties. Conspiracies. There you go. That's what I think of that. Yeah, maybe, yeah. So he wants a piece of sword to take to Mordred. It's a way to stop the sword being fully formed to its true potential. Yes, Jen. Yeah, girl. It's like a Merlin's a magical wizard, a magical dragon theme Merl out. Mildong. Oh god, just found out Mordred's Morgana's an alpha son. Maybe that's why Mordred's trying to get the throne. He believes he's rogue. Well, yeah, he's a bastard son, but there's reasons why, you know. I like it. So, this is Excalibur. At the same time, it also the dragon is controlled by Morgana. An ulterior motive. Morgana has warped his mind. Okay. Guys, I'm a genius. So, remember how the faction in Camelot were controlled by Morgana and like twisted by her evil magic and shit? Well, the dragon is not immune to this as well, and so she has controlled the dragon, and so that's how. Yeah, and then she gets the blade, takes it to Mordred. And that's why his friends are being evil. Exactly, yeah, because he's Merlin's friend. He doesn't want to, but like he's being forced to do it, and he's like really sad and stuff. And at the end, he'll come back and help them because at the end it'll be like, I am Merlin's friend, and he wants to save Camelot. Really, what a twist! I know, Emrys, you never saw this coming. It also means that the reforged items of Excalibur are not at their full power until the other blade is destroyed. Camelot will not be able to be restored to its full glory. Thought the name for the dragon could be Darwinian, as in, if something is Darwinian, it's from Darwin, as it's a it's into social Darwinism. So it sets up a battle between two parts of Excalibur, one held by Mordred, one by the party. Exactly, yeah. So then we have a confrontation that they have to go and fight Mordred, basically, at some point or another. That's we can bring Merlin. He releases the dragon from the spell and comes swooping into it. Fucking Merlin riding a dragon, what the fuck not? Or maybe the party can ride the dragon. Ooh. I think Merlin should return at some point. Maybe in the last section. But damn. Damn, son. Camelot was to its full glory. So, the party leave the lair of the dragon. We need to find a name of him still, because Darwinian is just going to make all my players think like he's Charles Darwin, or he's just really into Darwinism. If I leave the lair of the dragon, and return to Camelot to find Galahad dead and Mordred's army, and to the news that Mordred's army has like crossed the border over into Albion. Yeah. A Ravenbrand, that's a good name. Merlin should fight Archbishop of Canterbury, who's taken over Merlin's role as chief counsellor. Yeah, he's like evil Merlin, because he's Catholic. Oh hey, we need to update this. Mordred's army versus Moldog's army. We all know who'd win there. We all know who would win there. And Mordred would just be working for Moldog anyway, let's be real. So the party leave the dragon, Albion. Ending section 1. Alright. That's a section, boys. That's section 1. We're an hour in, so we're actually doing pretty well on time. Okay, we don't actually need this here, because that'll change break in sections. So, Right, let's go and recap everything which is happening in section 1. So we have, just to remind you guys, we've got 3 hours and an hour break, 3 hours and an hour break. That's section 1. Section 2. And section 3. So 3 hours and an hour break of us chatting and stuff, 3 hours break, 3 hours in the DM tab. So, in this first section, the themes are the old ways are gone and dying, they are replaced by a new order of things, and to restore peace, these old ways must be restored. Yeah, I was going to say he's from Scotland, because that makes sense. So Arthur's dead, Merlin has left, Albion's no ruler, the original knights ruled as a council of representatives for a time, but are old or dead at this point. The players are descendants of the original knights, and or Merlin if they're spellcasters. They find out that they're descended from them when the Lady of the Lake sends them a dream or vision which they are ancestors fighting in a battle for Camelot. They die, but they find out that Arthur has a son who ascended to hiding and was saved from the battle. Lady of the Lake tells them that the only ones who can save Camelot returns to its former glory by finding, by restoring Excalibur and finding Arthur's heir. They are to attend a tournament in Camelot, at which they can reveal themselves to be descendants and prove themselves to be so. Galahad's still alive and he remembers everyone and he tests them. Once he's done this, he tells them that Morgana and Mordred are trying to take over Camelot, but Galahad has stopped them thus far with a skeleton crew of knights in training. Mordred has the Roman Catholic Church on his side, with the Archbishop of Canterbury backing and funding his army in Scotland. Excalibur has lost its power, Galahad has it, but it needs to be returned to the Lady of the Lake. This faction within Camelot's taken control. Galahad has no real power. They're pro-Mordred, they think he'd make a good ruler and been twisted by Morgana's magic. Before they leave Excalibur, they're supposed to be deposed and put the Round Table back in power. The Ravens, and he could make the part of Excalibur into Ravenbrand because he could use Raven as a symbol of something. Raven Queen. Dragon name, Atrek. Cool. I will write that down in a second. Let me copy pasta. Unknown to them when he dies once they leave, they bring the sword to the Lady of the Lake. She tells them that they need Dragonfire to reforge the blade and sends them off on the meteor chase to see the dragon. The dragon has actually been twisted by Morgana's magic and takes a piece of the blade when they reforge it. So they get parts of the blade to forge into different items. But at the same time he gets one, therefore Morgana gets one. They take it to Mordred and forge a new blade, which is like an evil one. Then they return to Camelot to find Galahad dead and Mordred's army has crossed the border into Albion. Cool. I like it so far. It's awesome so far. If I can find a better Arthurian tale around. Atrek, Demetrius, Demeritius, like Demeritium. Yeah. Demeritius. Demetrius. Hello my friends, my name is Dimitri. I am a dragon. Dragon names. I'll just put them in a bank for now and I mean it's not like essential that we have this. Dragon names. Atrek. Demetrius and stuff. I've actually got a dragon name generator somewhere, which I can find. But for the moment, I'm going to worry about like story and stuff first, for the most part. Format properly, you bastard. Aren't you in that? Size 12. Thank you. Whoa. It's going to annoy me because it's. Right. Merryweather. 12. Good. Behave. Okay, so section 2. Merlin returns and throws the Archbishop of Canterbury and his faction out of power in Camelot as a Mordred army closes in. Well, I think they've actually overthrown, like, at this point in the story, these guys will have done that in section 1. Before they leave with Excalibur, they're going to have to overthrow them, by basically just killing them, most likely. But we can go into more detail with that. We're kind of working out the bare bones because we've got 12 hours of story to cover. But I'll also probably be doing other, like, sections, like, other streams like this, if you guys like this sort of thing. Because I've got a fuckload to get through, and I also want to do some map creation and stuff at some point. Maybe not tonight, we'll see. How's it going, Aiden? Kneel before Zod. Shamlif. That's a cool name. Where did I put dragon names? There we are. Shambleth Dragon. So, Section 2. They face an invading army and needs to defend Camelot and also find Arthur's heir. I imagine, like, they need to find Arthur's heir because it's one of those, like, Camelot has to, like, the prophecy bullshit, like, you know, Camelot will not be great until, like, one of Arthur's blood sits on the throne or something like that. Yeah. Let's find Arthur's heir. Galahad, on his deathbed, left instructions for the party to find Arthur's heir. Yeah, because otherwise how are they going to find out where he is, you know? So, Section 2. Section 2, we can start dealing with stuff like country management, you know? Sir Kay's heir is hiding their son in Cornwall. Could be, yeah. Could travel to Cornwall, it's a lovely little spot. It could be the curse that Camelot withers unless Arthur's blood is not on the throne. Yeah. Yeah, let's write that in actually. Blah. Which point is it? Point else lost. Heir. There is a curse. Let's actually put this. Just a little thing. There's a curse upon Camelot until one of Arthur's blood is on the throne. Camelot will wither and die. Arthur's son Archer, Archer Pendragon. Yes. Also yes. The question is though, why hasn't Galahad gone and found his son? Because he's too old. And it's dangerous. He hasn't found him himself because he was too old, the way was dangerous, and those he sent out never returned. The Green Knight bars the way. He's protected by the Green Knight. Why not? Yeah, fuck yeah. Arthur's heir. We need a name for that, by the way. Name. Couldn't trust any OSC information until now, yeah. They are the only ones he can trust with this information. Arthur's heir is protected by none other than the Green Knight. Galahad should tell them it is dangerous to go alone and give them a sword. I mean, he's dead, but he can write that down. But I mean, at this point they've got like reforged Excalibur, so they should be fine in terms like sword-wise. Edmund, that's a good name, good English name for you. Good job. Reminds me of that kid from Narnia, who I hate. So it's not Archer? Like, what? Only Merlin knows where he sent the heir, and he placed the memory of the location in the crystal guarded by the Green Knight. Fuck. That's an idea. I think. Yeah, he's protected by... He's gonna... Either way he's gonna be protected by a Green Knight. In some capacity. Yeah, you know, like Merlin, Merlin placed... He placed a magic one. What happened to music? Placed a spell to protect Edmund until until death or something. It's a Celtic demigod. It's also a very good model from Games Workshop from back in the day. Yeah, Merlin's a demigod. So, what does that make me? You live in a Green Chapel, yeah. Manly Green Chapel. He hasn't gone himself because, like, maybe it's like a test sort of thing. Like, it has to be like a fight for death or something. Like, you have to be able to kill a Green Knight and he's too old. And the Green Knights were, and he was no match for Green Knight. Green Knight. Just information. The faction in control previously would have found out. Yeah, so basically he didn't say anything because the faction that were in control would have like gone and killed Edmund probably. So he's done it to protect him. The Green Knight could have been charged by Merlin to protect and train Edmund until the day he could reclaim the throne and return to something that Merlin did with the Green Knight in the past. Yeah. What about Morgaine? Morgana and Mordred are like the Evil Army faction which is coming in to screw everyone. Camelot's too dangerous for Arthur's heir because the Archbishop of Canterbury's faction would have killed him from Mordred. Yeah. This faction which is in control of Camelot before the players come and kill them. They live in the Green Chapel. The players can journey out to the Green Chapel and fight the Knight, I guess, like fight the Green Knight, to prove themselves. What if it's like a classic Green Knight thing where like, now I want to watch last season of Stargate. Or once Edmund pulls a sword from stone, he's ready to face Mordred. Yeah. Maybe, but then it makes it about Edmund, doesn't it? It doesn't make it about the party. What if? Okay, this is gonna. I'm really in love with us. It's okay. So what if? What if there is no Edmund? What if the Green Knight is just a test to see who is worthy of being the king? Yeah? So it's not like Edmund doesn't actually exist, there is no heir. Because for whatever reason. But because here's what I'm thinking, if we have Edmund like become king and everything, it's all about Edmund, we love Edmund. Edmund becomes king, he gets the sword and goes off and fights everyone, but what we actually want is it to be about the 4 or 5 characters in the party. So what we actually want is for them to like prove themselves that they can rule. So whilst Galahad has kind of put them in charge of like Camelot for the moment, they find out that like the true rulers to Camelot are actually them. The Green Knight challenges knights to a test of courage and faith. They do the beheading contest to the Green Knight. Yeah, I like this beheading thing, yeah. McGovern. Yeah, I think that if we keep Edmund, he dies. So I don't think I don't like Edmund. Like, Edmund's kind of a hothead who goes off to try and fight Mordred and Morgana, chats and magic in the party to save me, ends up dying anyway, and the party has to fight the army and then rule if they succeed. Yeah. 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 Arthur's blood. Yeah, like the wording of the prophecy is that Arthur's blood. It's not meant literally, but he should just be worthy, just as Arthur was before him. Yeah. So Arthur's blood is actually like the spirit of Arthur. You know, like the courage of Arthur. And find out that there is no Edmund. There's no Edmund. And that Arthur's blood simply means those who are worthy to rule in his stead. There was no way, it's just an illusion created by the Lady of the Lake. They're the only ones who can save Camelot. Exactly. And the player that allows the Green Knight to chop his head off while flinching is spared and becomes a true heir. Yeah, all of them. What's this? What about if Morgana and Mordred managed to turn Edmund against the kingdom, thereby making the idea of Arthur's blood one of symbolism? That's an idea. That is an idea. Okay, so here's a question. How do we then, like, if there is no Edmund, and we don't want it, like, the point of not having Edmund is so that it's about the party and it's not about one person. And we've decided that we don't just want one person to be the heir, because then it all comes about them and it's about their story. How do we make it so that the Green Knight's challenge actually allows for all of them to be shown to be worthy heirs, and that it's about the Knights of the Round Table more than anything else? What about if Morgana... Oh wait, I read that one before, sorry. So... Actually... One is here. So yeah, the test... the test is one which must, which makes the players prove their courage and belief in Arthur, I guess. Well, you literally have to spill Arthur's blood in the fridge, just cut open. Make it as a group, yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's, why have the Green Knight challenge them all if they win their worthy? Okay, so they have to fight their descendants when they get to the church. Oh, interesting. The players could be told only a true Knight of the Round Table would pass the beheading challenge. And so that it has to be. Yeah. And that diplomacy and teamwork and above all humility is what caused them to be singly worthy as a group to hold the throne. Yeah, it has to be about the group, certainly. Yeah, I think on that straw poll we're all in agreement. This is one which makes players prove their courage and faith and belief in Camelot. They are told by the Green Knight that only what did you say? A true knight, yeah, of the Round Table could pass this test. So, if we're doing the beheading thing, how do we do the beheading thing is the question. So I guess formally in traditional Arthurian legend, it's Gawain gets an attack in, he gets the chop of his head, and then he gets a chop of their heads. But I mean, the problem with that was if you do that, then one person almost gets his head chopped off but doesn't, and then the other player's like, alright, yep, I'll go get my head chopped off because it doesn't. The players are told by the Green Knight if they're true knights around, they will survive the beheading contest by God's grace. So basically, they need to be simultaneously, like, beheaded somehow. That's the thing here. I'm sure a lot of players wouldn't just let their heads get chopped off. Well, exactly, Emrys. Could be multiple tests engineered by different people. Arthur left one, the Green Knight has the beheading, Lady Lake has something, Merlin has riddles, doesn't he? Maybe, yeah. How's it going, Geester? Welcome, my friend. Haven't seen you here before. We are doing a 12-hour game of Arthurian Legend in D&D, so if you like this sort of thing, then hit that follow button, and you can get to watch the game on Monday the 21st. So they introduce aristocracy. I think that they should all be asked if you're worthy, then who should be the first to lose their head, and if they answer myself, they pass. Ooh. How about, like, I like the idea that they're all going to be beheaded at the same time. They have to, the player who bravely lets the Green Knight take a shot without flinching is brave enough to be heir. But, like I was saying, I don't want one of them to be heir, I want them all to be, like, heirs. I want them all to rule the round table, basically, eh? And so it's not about one player, you are the heir, now you are the most important character. It's like, you guys as a collective are the king, you are the round table, and Camelot is all about the round table and everything. So yeah. And thank you, Geester, for following. Welcome to the adventure, my friend. You're a gentleman and a scholar, sir. And feel free to throw suggestions in chat today as to our game. So, the way that we're going to do this, I think, Combasis test. They are to kneel and place their heads on a chopping board. What do you call those things? When you actually been beheaded in, like, England, there's a name for it. Call it chopping board. Someone will tell me in chat what it actually is. There's a name for it. You know, like, you clipped into, like, the guillotine thingy. Hello, but it's better if you don't. Welcome, my friend. I'll just listen for an hour to get a feeling of the story so far. Sure thing, mate, yeah. Guillotine. Yeah, no, it's... Oh yeah, why don't we just have a guillotine? That's fucking easier. I wasn't thinking of guillotine, I was thinking of, just like, stocks, I'm guessing. Could have magic axes that swing all at the same time. Yeah, this is what I'm thinking. The simultaneous beheading seems viable, but you must get them to show individually that they're willing to sacrifice themselves for the greater good. Chopping block, yeah. Yeah, I guess it's just a chopping block, isn't it? Well, it could just be a guillotine. Place our heads on different guillotines, I guess. Different guillotines. Is this how you spell guillotines? It's French, so it does. Who knows? Anyway, place your heads on different guillotines. But they. Okay, so here's the thing. First of all, they have to put their heads in the guillotine. Then, they're told that there is a release mechanism on the guillotine. There's like a button that they can press at the last moment if they want to stop this axe from coming down. Those who press the button are not, like, willing. The way you spell is right. Yeah. Guillotines. I could see as well, but it's better if you don't. Is that a Panic at the Disco reference, by the way? Because there's that song. Anyway. But there is a release mechanism. Oh. What if there's a release mechanism, not just for individual, but for the party as a whole? And so, if they press the button, or whatever, like the pulley or something, to stop the guillotine. Yeah, I thought so. Then all of the party are saved, but then they're all not worthy. Rather than just one person not being worthy. Let's base this release mechanism on each, which can stop the axe from falling onto all of the party members. If any of the players, or any of the characters, hits this button, this mechanism, to save themselves, the party fails this test. That would end the game. No, it wouldn't, because then we can figure a way of, like, the green, like, there's always got to be an ABC to this sort of stuff. So it's not like a you succeed or you fail. Yeah, exactly. So what happens if they collectively fail the test? That's a question. It's not a game ender. It's a new lead. Maybe the Green Knight attacks them, and so they have to prove themselves through that. Apparently, beheading was reserved for treacherous members of noble birth as an alternative. I mean, we're talking kind of like the Green Knight story, where he Galahad beheads him, and then Galahad has to be beheaded. So I mean, in terms of Arthurian legend, it certainly has a basing. Yeah, so I think it makes sense. So it can be a series of tests, you know, it doesn't have to be one. What about if they all have to go into different rooms? They're told there are two levers, one kills them but saves the party, and the other will save them but only... Ooh, that's a good idea, that's a good idea, Jen. Wait, let me read that again. One kills them but saves the party, another will save them but only if they press it before anyone else. Let me think about this. This is a tricky one. The party fails this test. If that happens, maybe the Green Knight attacks them. And they have to prove themselves through strength of arms. Did that make sense? It did make sense, yeah, I was just thinking. Sometimes my brain stops working. Fairly regularly, actually. 420 dungeon. So yeah. So yeah, I think a series of tests is better than just a one. So like when one of them does push that button, then the Green Knight attacks, they can prove themselves through strength of arms and show their valor through that. When this happens, when they succeed, yeah, I guess they have a vision or something, like sent from Merlin, or the Green Knight explains, one or two. Then the one that pushes the button has to fight the Green Knight. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. And whomever pushes the button must, whomsoever, is it whomsoever, whoever, I don't know, who cares. Good job. What about a magic ribbon which will prevent beheading, but they will have promised to give it to a maiden who is also facing beheading. If they give the ribbon to the maiden, the knight spares them. I mean, maybe. Maidens. Bottom. Yep. It's the problem when you talk to yourself too much. So if they press the button themselves, they must progress on to the next room without knowing who, if any, departments left. I like that idea, I do. I wonder if it might just be a bit complicated to do, though. It might just be simpler to keep it like this, where they're all in the same room. But none of them are facing one another, so none of them can see each other. The are in separate corners of the room, facing outwards, so that the party cannot see one another. So no one knows who's going to press that button, you know. Nice, 200 gold. When they succeed, they have a vision sent from Merlin explaining that there is, once again, no Edmund, and that they have proven themselves worthy of Arthur's throne. The whole. Oh, jeez, what did I do? Did I just F5? Balls. May have a curse of blindness and no damage on them, yeah. Oh, no, I didn't, don't worry, I've got it. For a moment now, I was like, lost everything, but here we go. Here we go. As a princess worthy of Arthur's throne, Arthur's blood was not literal. They can return with the Holy Grail. let's find Holy Grail? Like, maybe, like, okay, so here's the thing. Merlin's like, yo, you guys are like, double deafness on them. Well, if they, like, fail or something. Edmund exists and is going to be beheaded by the Green Knight. Also, everyone in the party has a magical ribbon which will save their life except Edmund. If any party member gives Edmund his ribbon, the Green Knight spares him and declares him the real heir. Maybe. Where the hell did they get this magic ribbon stuff from? I like the idea that Edmund isn't real. I like it too much. Whatever that straw poll was. Agreed. Yeah. So they return, like, so here's the thing, so Merlin's like, yo, you guys are the heir now, but like, how do they prove that to anyone? You know, how are they going to prove themselves? So, cheers, Irving. No, the curse beasts like outside each other during tests. Yeah, that's a good idea, yeah. Yeah, everyone agrees, no, it's test reply, cool. So the Green Knight's wife who says she wants to spare the point. Green Knight's got a wife now. The Green Lady. Yeah, so they got no, Yeah, okay, so, okay, go. Supercross rooms can see each other. Like, silence is also cast upon a room. Oops. It is also cast in this room, so no magic can be performed, and the players cannot communicate to one another during the test. How many gears? Next test, we'll have children and a dog, yeah. Oh, Gillon-teens. They return. So yeah, I'm thinking this is a nice little piano riff. Grandkids. The hamster of the Green Knight. There's no Edmund who's proved themselves worthy of strain after is not literal. They then find the Holy Grail, the symbol of Arthur's rulership. Only those kind of blessed by him can will ever find it. The green hamster, he comes to the hedgehog carrots. Okay, so yeah, like gonna find the Holy Grail. We could. What does the Holy Grail do? The Holy Grail should definitely have some properties. The Holy Grail. They return the Holy Grail to Camelot as its rightful rulers. I can't spell. What did I do? Guillotines. They return the Holy Grail to Camelot as its rightful rulers. Here we go. Mordred's army has crossed into England. That's good. So far, section 2, we're probably looking at an hour and a half, maybe. Hour and a half. We could have some adventures on the road to the Green Knight's chapel as well. So yeah, they return the Holy Grail. With the Holy Grail to Camelot as its rightful rulers, Mordred's army has crossed into England. So here I want to go into Gallagher say, what about the Green Knight's gerbil? But I'm not that kind of orc. So at this point, I want to go into like kingdom, like some management stuff, and to like raising an army and stuff. Like starting England takes a while. You're not going to be across England super quickly, so they probably they probably have a while to like train up an army. So, and they can call in help from their allies as well, like any old allies that they might once have had. Camelot needs an army to defend itself and to call in aid from her old allies who have now abandoned Camelot, I guess. So I'm guessing, like, because we've got the whole theme of like the old ways gone. Like Camelot used to have alliances, he used to have friends, but now its friends have abandoned her because Arthur's died and there's been no ruler and stuff, and this kind of evil council which have been in charge have taken over, and we're not friends of those guys. So yeah. So Camelot needs to find an army to defend itself. It's call in aid from our allies who have now abandoned Camelot. Right, let's have a list of some allies. Some like allied forces who they could call upon for help. Those who could be called upon. We also need to think about how big the army is. Current size of the army in Camelot is probably pretty small because had of knights in training. Camelot's allies of Cornwall, Sir Lancelot's kingdom in Brittany. So yeah, we could have some Cornwall buddies. But I mean, we can do like pretty much whatever. You know, there could be like a bunch of you know, half orcs living out in somewhere or other. That are a faction or something. You know, we can make up factions. It doesn't really matter. I'm not really too bothered about sticking to Arthur and stuff in any way. So Galahad had a small contingent of knights in training, but oops. But the players at this point are the only extra knights. The only true knights in Camelot. Faction of Vikings, yeah, Vikings could be interesting. So we could have Cornwall and his yeah, Cornwall. We could have some Vikings like on a coast or something that have come along. Vikings traditionally always messing around with us Brits. Players of the only true knights in Camelot. What about mercenary groups? Maybe the Vikings are mercenary groups, but mercenaries, you could be like, you know, paid to fight for them. Poya, D&D can't handle army making and fighting. There's no game mechanic for that. D&D may not be able to, my friend, but I can. That could be barbarian class. Yeah. Maybe barbarians. Yeah, and fuck the rules, man. Who actually cares about the rules these days? So Galahad had a small contingent of knights in training. Yeah, so they got Cornwall, they got some Vikings, got some mercenaries. Dragon? Question mark? Whatever we decide to call it. Vortigern, yeah, he was, he ended up, like, I remember watching this thing, he ended up dying in it pretty early on, which is funny. Maybe Merlin left a bunch of enchanted items that could, yeah, okay. Like the armory in Harry Potter, yeah. Okay, so Merlin's defences. Merlin left defences. And if I actually cared enough about to do this, I could find out any one of a million different homebrew rules for army fighting. There's some on our website, in fact, so there are mechanics to do this sort of thing if you actually can be brought to do it. But why ever constrict yourself? You know, why ever say that you can't do something in D&D, because it's your imagination, dude. Merlin left defences around Camelot. which can be activated. The walls. The walls of Camelot are like always like a thing, aren't they? Camelot can resist magic, I think. They should be able to do that. I'm in a Skype group with like 40 different people. I fucking hate Skype groups, man. Like wait, noise every 2 seconds kinda kills me. Group chats in general. They'll just start talking politics. Time to leave, my friend, time to leave. Dragon could come along with Mordred Morgana, but the party found a way to break the connection with Morgana. He'll turn and fight for Camelot. Yeah, maybe that has something to do with the defenses of Camelot as well. Maybe that's something to do with Merlin. Maybe if there's a spellcaster in the group that could work on that. Yeah. This would be a magic cauldron of scrying, so you can watch your enemies progress by gazing into the liquid. Yeah, I know that. Let's have that. Walls of Camelot. Let's have this on the defences. Merlin left defences around Camelot which can be activated. The walls of Camelot can resist magic. Cauldron. Good word, cauldron. Of scrying. To be used to spy on Mordred's advance. But that can also be countered by Morgana, or like a opposed what should we call it, like a opposed Arcana check or something like that, you know. Figure out a DC for that at some point. We decide what level they're actually at. Magic cauldrons are big. They're really big into that. Big fans. So the defenses. Let's do this. Oh, hey. There we go. Yeah, it's italics. This. Levy, you know, like Levy Freeman. The peasant folk. Oop. The peasant folk of Camelot can be called upon as a militia force. Why not? That's the sort of thing you do in times of war. You'd call upon all your levies. One that serves as a target designated for giant magic missiles. That's cool. Like actual siege engines, probably. Cool. Yeah. So we've got like walls. We've got a cauldron. Something like some magic items which is left. Magic items left by Merlin. Because, you know, he'd leave some stuff around. He's not a guy. He gets a bit forgetful. You forget where you put things. Current standing force in Camelot. Camelot-a-roo. So Belenda's okay. So Belenda, you can also call upon Levy Freeman. Siege engines can engines can be built. Flaming pitchforks, there you go. Get your angry mob supplies here. Angry mob. Siege engines can be built. Camelot's got a moat. Of course it does. Why wouldn't it? Nice plus D8 flame damage, yeah. Siege engines can be built. Things like traps outside the city. They'll think of all these sorts of things. So they'll get in charge of the kind of. So let's put this down on one page. Also, we need to figure out what the Holy Grail actually does. Though, what the hell does that thing do? Or is it just like a symbolic symbol, which a symbolic symbol, be like a symbol like Camelot can survive? Who knows? Enchanted ever-burning oil that can be poured off the walls onto attackers. That could be made, yeah. Okay, so they can create. So okay, that's what we have so far. the players can create, they can raise levy freemen, they can build siege engines, magical oil, like from the spellcaster, from the Descendant of Morgana. How's it going, Ken? Good to see you, brother. We're making a module for this 12-hour stream in December. So, would it need to be dispelled? Yeah. I mean, that's it. That's another thing. Like, if it's ever burning, but also the spell stuff can be countered by Morgana when she comes in, because she's that bitch Cray. Yeah. So, yeah, we're playing this on Monday the 21st, so we've got a bit of time to prep. So I figured, seeing as it's the first, I would start prepping for this. And poor old Finbear is ill today, so I'm covering for him tonight. Siege engines, what defenses would you call upon in like a time of siege? In England, obviously the moat is a pretty big thing, and it's also built on a hill. Holy Grail is mostly a symbol of Arthur's quest as his struggle, but some stories say that if you drink from it, it might give you immortality and magic power, but only if you're deemed worthy. If not, yeah, you're killed. Yeah, so it's a kind of the Indiana Jones. You have chosen poorly. Brilliant film, that. Brilliant guy. The actor for that has now died, sadly. But what a performance that was. What a line he gave. So, and then the allies, I guess, like they can send out word to Cornwall, asking for aid / send a diplomatic group, I guess, diplomatic envoy. Why not? Like, some of the players can go, and we can have a quick scene where they go off into Cornwall to ask for his aid, basically. Yeah, same, Jen. You have chosen poorly. What a film. Favourite film from my childhood, though. So yeah, like, send that word to Cornwall. How about there's also, like, money. How much money does Camelot have? So we're gonna have, like, let's put on, like, let's say they have like 100,000 gold in Camelot in this, like, treasury. In the treasury. That's just a random number, right? And then they can choose to spend it in different things. What if you needed the purifying power of the Holy Grail to feel a dragon? That's a good idea, Irving. Yeah. Let's put this. The Holy Goddamn Grail. So yeah, let's put a figure on it. Let's just say, like, they have 100,000 gold to spend. Using 9 million this time. Interesting. They might have old Roman coins. Yeah, true. We could flavour it however we want. Doesn't really matter. Let's call it gold for now, for the sake of it. And then they could choose to spend on building, like sending out, buying mercenaries, buying Vikings, sending like a gift to Cornwall. Raising the levies would cost, building siege engines would cost, laying out traps would cost. All these things would actually end up costing you some money. So that's probably something I'll do at another point, actually figuring out the exact cost of these things. But so that it's a choice, so they can't do everything. They've got limited resources in Camelot, because it's a shadow of its former self, essentially. No, I do not want legendary badass workout music, I'm afraid. Thank you for the offer, though, YouTube. So yeah, so, they have 100,000 gold, but maybe something like building the siege engines costs 40,000 gold, and so they can't do everything. So there's limited defenses they can choose. More armies cross over in England. The players can choose, because I know my players will really enjoy this as well, because this sort of thing, like, this is super Josh's thing. He would really enjoy doing that, and as well as Mitch and Cord would enjoy doing this sort of thing. So That's the sort of thing you want to think about when you're creating campaigns. Like, who are your players? Well, I've got Cord, Mitch, Josh, Beth, maybe Sydney. So it's the sort of thing you should think about. Like, what will your players enjoy? Like, this sort of thing, personally, me as a player, I wouldn't enjoy, but I know these guys are going to fucking love getting to, like, choose kingdom management stuff. And it breaks up the pace of the game as well, because we've had this long section where they're going kill things, they're having battles, they're getting the test of the sword, and they come back, and it's like the breath before the storm, the deep breath before the storm. And so, why do you do this to me, Google Docs? So yeah, they can choose how to spend the resources. What's a module? Zaxaya, welcome, my friend. I haven't seen you here before. A module is basically an adventure. You probably heard of that term, like a downloadable adventure for D&D. It's essentially you write stuff, and then you can download it and play it yourself. So what will probably end up happening with this, because we're doing a 12-hour game all in one session, and this is going to be the kind of adventure module, whichever word you prefer to use. I will probably write this up into a PDF form at some point, and you'll be able to download this for free on our website, which is encounterroleplay.com. So yeah. No Black Plague, as Quintus. Good shout. Black Plague should come in at some point. Maybe since there has been no rule of some time, the treasure could go in one or two ways. Either they have taxed the kingdom to hell, or no one is working to keep the treasury up to date, so they start at disadvantage, so it can bring in the allies' option as a necessity rather than just option. I like that idea. Like, this faction, the shadowy faction, whatever we decide to call them, have been taxing people loads. So there's actually, like, more gold in the treasury than there should be. At the same time, the people are starving. And maybe there's disease, maybe there's some plague. Gold in the treasury. The peasant folk have been taxed by the... We'll just call them the faction for now, because we don't have a name for them. Suggestions were like the Ravens or something. Boy, we're not in history, my friend. So Black Plague can be anywhere. Who cares? I'm happy to have a plague. Do not restrict yourselves, please. Never restrict yourselves, my friends. Free yourselves from your mortal bonds, and feel free to show crazy suggestions. There were also not dragons in the 4th century, so I'll remind you. So free yourselves, and D&D. We're not actually playing Arthurian canon. Mysterious illness, yeah. Maybe they don't call it a Black Plague, they call it something else. They call it, death disease. The peasant folk have been taxed by the faction highly and are starving. So it has to be a kind of, so it has to be a mix of like feeding the population and like creating a resource, creating defenses for the city. Blood tax. Faraway wars, the country demands every 5th able bodied man to join a war, yeah. Faction called the Black Plague, yeah. They're called the Black Hand. So yeah, but that's starving. Players can choose how to spend the money in the treasury, from creating defenses, raising an army, and feeding the population. Because if you have a well-fed population, they're going to be happier, they're going to be more likely to like join up into the war, they're also going to be just healthier, therefore easier to they're going to be better soldiers, basically. How's it going, Blondie? I've always liked the blood tax. Yeah, like a magical plague, like the Black Grail. That's a good name, Mac. But isn't that like overtly evil? So here's the thing, like maybe they're called like the council or something. But these guys that were in charge were not like an overtly evil faction. They're just basically a bunch of politicians who have been twisted by Morgana's magic, but at the same time, no one knows that they've been twisted by like dark magic. So they are a representative body, which were put in charge after Arthur died, and they are evil, but we don't know that they're evil. So it's basically like a Conservative Party in England. Oh no, we're talking politics. Don't. But it's better if you don't. He's going to be angry. Let's put 100,000 gold on the treasury, and then we'll figure out at a later date the exact, corruption basically, corruption-free magic. The text and us starving. So they can create like freemen, siege engines, traps, magical oil, feed the population. I guess like medicine and cure for plague, which has ravaged Camelot. Yeah. So there's plague in Camelot, and it has been for a while. How's it going, Bloody? I haven't seen you in a little bit. Good to see you, my friend. So yeah, they can spend all these things. I'll work out exact amounts at a later date because I've got an hour, and yeah, greed rather than inherent evil. But I think they're also, yeah, so maybe they were like bribed by Mordred and Morgana. But there also needs to be this kind of like, there needs to be the magical element there, because remember the dragon has been twisted by magic, and he's Merlin's friend, and so he wouldn't just do it for money. So I like the idea that they're both kind of linked in. So, I guess, defense of Camelot, of course. So all this is actually going to take about a month. Mordred's army will not be upon Camelot anytime soon. Like in the immediate, they have time. They have time to prepare the defences. They could be good guys. Yeah, they could be good guys. Yeah. The Council of Mages. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. I like that idea. They're not actually just evil. They're kind of corrupted. Yeah. And once they're freed from the curse, they're actually helpful, and they're thankful. And that way we have NPCs. That way we have NPCs within Camelot who they are familiar with and who are thankful to the party for saving them. Because Galahad's dead, and so the one NPC who we did really like is now gone. Council of Law. Yeah, yeah. It's a good name. I'm going to write a name. I'll write some of these names down. Faction. Just put faction names. Yeah. Like, Council of Law, I think like the Ravens was suggested before by Irving. Yeah. The Black Grail, someone's max it. But I think they might be a bit too evil. But yeah, anyway. So they have time to prepare the defences and organise themselves. Alright. So this is feeling a bit like, by the time they've done all this organising, this might be the end of Section 2. Because basically each of these little things can be a side quest. So like, right, you want to build siege engines? Right, you got to go talk to this guy and pay him, and he's going to need like, you know, wood or something, or labour for these for stuff. You want to get Levi Freeman, right? They're probably going to need to be fed and stuff. So yeah, Council of Law, yeah, for Morgana's cult, yeah. Yeah, magical oil, right? You're going to have to go and find Merlin's old spell notes to do it. So it will take them a little bit more time rather than just like we will roleplay. It will not just be like 10 gold to this man and such and such. If you like the Black Grail, it could be Morgana changed their name after she took control of them. Maybe they're the Council of Law, but they're actually the Black Grail. They're actually part of the Black Grail. Okay, so what if it's established previously that Morgana has a cult called the Black Grail? Yeah, make the resource something you need to do side quests for. Yeah, exactly, because, I mean, we've got fucking 12 hours to do this. So, at this point we are... When Section 2 begins, we are 4 hours in. At this point, we're now probably 5 or 6 hours in. So, yeah. And, yeah. Is this, by the way, is this the sort of thing that you guys would like to see written up into an into a PDF format and put on the site for you guys to download? Would you like to be able to download like the whatever we decide to call it, like the Adventures of Camelot, the whatever the Defense of Camelot, whatever you guys want to call it? I could write this all up into a PDF at some point and put it on the site, if you wanted me to. Maeve Morgana is impersonating one, and that's why she's corrupting the king to do things like support the Black Grousers. Well, the king is dead, Quintus, and I think you've only just got here a little while ago. So, basic premise for this is, and we go all the way up here to like our themes. Introduction: the King Arthur is dead. Merlin has left. Albion has no ruler. The original knights of the council ruled for a time, but they're old or dead at this point. So we're living in a time after Camelot's kind of golden age, and things have all fallen through. And so the party basically has to restore Camelot to its former glory. Yeah, even better, yeah. If the Holy Grail provides absolute providence and can cure any corruption, a corrupted Holy Grail could create absolute damnation and corrupt anything the war touches. Okay, so the plague that they have in the city. Oh. How about... Let's call it Wolves Donga featuring adventuring stuff. I had a thought. I will give it to myself. Can be cured by the Holy Grail. Also, just a point for before, if they fail the test, if they fail the first test of the beheadings, and then they fail to like kill the Green Knight, or they don't get the vision or whatever, and they don't get the Holy Grail, they can return to Camelot still knowing that they have this quest to do, but knowing that they've failed, and knowing that they're not actually like these super pure holy rulers or whatever, and it can still work. It doesn't end the adventure, because basically, if the Holy Grail is going to cure the plague, well, what if they don't have the Holy Grail? It's going to be a hell of a lot harder task getting the peasant folk like healthy and able to live. So, yeah. Anyway, that's just something I thought about just then. So, they have time to prepare the defences and organise themselves. How long does it take to get from Scotland to England if you're an army marching? I don't know. A month, 2 months. Who knows? If they have Cornwall... Okay. Cornwall... if Cornwall agrees to help... Too many L's. If Cornwall agrees to help... he will be able to delay Mordred's advance. So Cornwall isn't going to be able to like stop Mordred. That would just be, yeah, a couple of months. You reckon? I reckon. And it depends on the time of year as well. Of course, if it's like winter, it's going to take forever. But no one marches in winter, so imagine this is spring. This is the season of war. He'll be able to delay Mordred's advance. And party more time to prepare without his help. Mordred reach, we'll say 2 months. And if Cornwall delays, that's like 3. What if the party had an option to either outright kill Mordred, or they could force him to try and drink from the ground and be incinerated? Well, yeah, I suppose they could do that. They could probably do that anyway. It is dark, but I like it. I like the darkness. The darkness likes me. So yeah, Cornwall's potentially going to need to buy them time. Yeah, delays could be extended, yeah. That is dark. But it's good, it's good. Like, if they know, like, it's not something that I have to spell out to them, basically. If they know, like, anyone who is impure, who drinks from the grail, is going to get incinerated, then they can use that at their own discretion. For a change, it would be fantastic if the question were moral or through and tests of character. So party has advantages of legitimacy to rule if they act nobly, if they act murderously or foolishly, they have harder time and less help facing Mordred's army. Yeah, exactly. So if they failed the test and they don't have the grail, that's going to be harder for them initially, because they're going to they're not going to have the grail to cure the plague, so they're going to have to deal with that themselves through spending more money. Furthermore, if they decide not to feed the peasants, the peasant folk are going to be angry with them, and they're not going to like them, and so they're going to face more resistance from that. If they're not diplomatic with Cornwall, if he doesn't like them for whatever reason, or whatever envoy he sends, whatever gift they give them, they're going to either not have an alliance there, or he's going to help them less. So yeah, if they are just and good, then good things will happen. But at the same time, they have to be able to, like, some things. Like, you can't force party down a moral decision, so I don't want to just make a bad, like an evil decision bad, because maybe not feeding the peasant folk is actually going to save money, you know, and so they get to spend it on more siege engines. So there's a give and take, you know, for certain. So maybe make the initial test a standing point rather than winning the Holy Grail at the beginning of the game. Yeah, maybe so. Yeah. Maybe that is early to get the Holy Grail. I'll consider it. But then at the same time, I think there is a good reason to have a Holy Grail is because that gives them the legitimacy when they come back to Camelot. It means that they are the rulers. Yeah, but I mean, all of this is detail. Details, who needs them? So this 2 months. By the end of this section, Mordred's army will have swept across northern England. That's okay, because no one cares about northern England, right? And be on Camelot's doorstep. Unless, okay. Yeah, this is a humans-only game. Like institutional enemies of Arthur's, Britain's so party about Grey could... Yeah, exactly, yeah. So if they had a bit more of that alignment, they could go the mercenary route. Yeah, this is... It's D&D, it's the D&D engine, but we're sitting it in Arthurian lore. However, there are dragons. There is a dragon. And there is magic. So, yeah. So here's the thing, like, maybe I don't want to meet, Mordred at Camelot. Maybe they want to meet him ahead. Across northern England. The party... Let's put some new line. The party can decide whether they want to meet Mordred in the field or at Camelot. Ooh, scrying. I want a quick note on the scrying. Let's put this here. Cauldron of Scrying can be used to deduce the figures, the kind of size of Mordred's eye and its kind of components. No, it's, they know that they'll find that Mordred's army. Oh, rip everyone. Mordred's army is much stronger than theirs. We'll think of exact figures at some point. And so meeting them at Camelot is probably easier, but at the same time, it's going to ravage like their fields and their crops and stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah, look, Mordark is sorry to me. What about legitimacy? What about full legitimacy to instead of the Holy Grail, the sword of the Red Hilt? This is the sword that Galahad drew from the floatstone. Merlin achieved the sword into the rock after the death of Balin, a knight of two swords who had inflicted a dolorous blow. Jesus, I don't know any of this stuff. Yeah, I'll think about the Holy Grail stuff. I'm I'm at a conundrum with it. I will decide at some point. So, the party can decide whether they want to meet Mordred field or at Camelot. If they meet him in the field, they can pick a location with possible strategic advantages, but not have the innate defences of Camelot. If they let Mordred get to Camelot, this will lead to the crops and surrounding villages under their rule to become destroyed, to be destroyed. Yeah, good job. Let's have a look. Google list for objects. Maybe have some side quests or treasures. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, I will bookmark this to have a look at. There's a lot to go through. That looks cool, eh? The last battlefield of Arthur and Mordred was Camlan. Maybe if the party wants to protect the peasants and legitimate rulers, they can get an advantage by fighting at Camlan again. Yeah, certainly. Some of them might have like a knowledge of. I mean, we all have knowledge of England, so they might be able to think of good strategic points across the country that we would otherwise be unable to. So there's pros and cons to each one. But they will be able to use Camelot's own defences. Magic beans, just because I can make magic chili. If they're less legitimate, they must fight Siege of Camelot. I mean, they could. I mean, they could decide anyway, couldn't they? Like, even if they are less legitimate rulers, they could still decide to fight at Camelot. Or wherever they wanted to. Yeah, I wouldn't force them down, oh, you're bad, therefore you have to do this. It's up to them. If they let Mordred... Yeah, so basically, let's move this. And let's actually put it in italics. But in this section, Mordred's army sits across England. The party will have prepared defences for fair defences and or decided to fight in the field. The stage will be set for a conclusion. For an epic conclusion. Exclamation point, because we're just that excited. Alright, Jen, enjoy. Keep on lurking, girl. So, here we go. So that is the end of section 2. Thank you. At this point, we will have played section 1, which is 3 hours, taken an hour break. Tomorrow, Jen, we're going to be back doing... Oh, tomorrow we're doing a drunk stream. Tomorrow we're celebrating 1,000 followers and playing the Jackpot Party Box and other assorted games and drinking vast amounts of alcohol and doing shots. I have more vodka ready for tomorrow. So tomorrow will be kind of like a non-D&D RPG related stream, so feel free not to come along if you guys are not interested in that. But if you want to see us get drunk and play games and have fun and interact with you guys can affect how much we drink and what games we play and stuff like that, then do come along tomorrow. It'll be fun. Yeah, see you at 9, same time as always, Jim. I did just drunk stream tomorrow celebrating 1,000 followers. Yeah, Jackbox, yeah, I got it yesterday. It was gifted to me actually by Scarred Star, so come along. How's it going, Tony? Good to see you, brother. We've been writing this module for the 12-hour stream on the 21st. I've seen you lurking. I don't know how much you've caught, but we have finished section 2, so at this point we're actually 3, 6, 7, 8 hours through the 12-hour stream, and then we just need another 3-hour section ending and a Dungeon Master's Tavern. So we'll worry about the Dungeon Tavern, but we've just got another 3 hours of game to. Okay, Susie and Jen. 1 or 2? What do you mean? Is there different ones? I was gifted like the jackpot party box or something. I don't know. From Gareth, which is awesome. Section 3, in which the adventure comes to a head. Mordred must be defeated, and Camelot restored to its former glory. Oh, there are 2. Okay, let me look. Let me look real quick. I was gifted something. We'll have a look now. So yeah, at this point, we need to figure a way to wrap things up with the epic kind of conclusion battle. I'm thinking it's the first one. I'll let you know in a minute. So there's a couple of possibilities here. My body's just realised that it's incredibly hungry. In the field. If the party have decided to meet Mordred on the field of battle, something will happen. Yeah, so Merlin's a real big bad guy. Yeah, totally. Confirmed. It's called the Jackbox Party Pack. I think it's the first one. It doesn't say 2, so I'm guessing it's 1. The party decided to meet Mordred on the field of battle. We'll have to have decided what this battlefield looks like. We're going to have to do another stream of this, you know, because we haven't, like, there's so much more to do. Like, I don't know how many words it is. But we've been doing this for 2.5 hours, and we've just gone to section 3, haven't even made maps or anything yet, so... Field of battle, they can be at a strategic advantage on terrain. Well, I'll figure out what the exact field is. Camelot. Thank you, Better TV, Twitch TV for helping that. Camelot, they will be able to. They will be able to use the defences of the city to help them. Bring the dragon to fight on the side of the party only if it passes the Green Knight's legitimacy test. Otherwise, the dragon considers Mordred legitimate king. Dragon. Why? No, don't do that. Right, let's just copy something useless. Okay, so... Dragon. Screw you. Google Documents. The dragon... And he wants to fight for the party. He's Merlin's old friend. But he is... This brings us up to the previous section. This brings us back to section 2. Dragon. Sure. But he is under Morgana's spell. If the party look for Morgana or the dragon, they can attempt to free him from the spell in order to save, in order to enlist him. Cool. Is Mordred a druid because Fog and Rainstorm should fight? Ooh, yeah. Yeah, he should be. Just help him. So, dragon will either not be present or fight for the party. Like, he's not going to show up to like kill his friends. Break the spell, gain the dragon's favor. Exactly. Yeah. What could go wrong? Break the spell, gain the dragon's favor. Or fight for the party. Pretty much allow the players to decide how their force is composed, and let's let them draw up a map of where they want their troops, basically. So all I'm going to ask from them is give them a Roll20 page and be like, right, so everyone grab yourself a shape, and then like archers here, soldiers up front. That's all I'll ask of them. So it should be super easy for them. That's just so we have a vague idea in our heads as to what's going on. And I'll draw a map of where they want their troops. Yeah, and then I will then draw in Mordred's. Fairly actually, this is going to be in the field. If it's in Camelot, we don't actually need a map because it's just a fucking castle. Maybe we'll draw a map, we'll see. Mordred is definitely a druid fight, I think so as well, yeah. Mordred. Actually, let's just... Right. The battle. I don't know how much detail I actually care about going into for the battle itself. About, like... Oh, first, archer volley rains down and stuff like this. Let players decide upon a battle plan. It really does depend whether or not they've chosen to go into the city or if they've chosen to meet them in the field here at this point. If they choose them to meet in the city, then the plan is going to be pretty much like shoot stuff down on them, wait for them to die, etc, etc, etc. If they meet them in the field, they might have a different plan entirely. And then improvise from there. That's what I'm going to do. Honestly, most of the stuff which I've written I'll probably improvise changes into, because it's who I am as a person. I want these sections to be nicer because I have mild OCD when it comes to this. Okay. So yeah, basically gonna let him wing it and send him to the battle. At some point in the battle, Mordred will appear and break down the gates of Camelot with his own version of Excalibur, which he's carrying, whatever it's called, we'll decide. Excalibur forged from the last piece which was taken by the dragon. So this well, it'll break down the gates carries over. The alternative version, if in the field, this will cause a shockwave, which will, you know, end up killing hundreds of troops, decimate the forces of Camelot. So basically, they're going to be outnumbered. They're going to be outclassed in most ways. They're going to be able to use strategic advantage, terrain advantage. They're going to be able to use the castle's defences. But at some point, Mordred's going to come along and fuck shit up, because otherwise, what's the point? And so when this happens, well, I think the epic conclusion needs to be these guys fighting Mordred, right? It needs to be like the boss fight is Mordred, yeah. That's clearly what we've been heading towards here. Mordred needs to die in order to save Camelot. So, in order for an epic conclusion, I think like they're going to be losing the fight. Basically, they're going to be dying. Their men are going to be dying. most likely, and no matter how well they're gonna engineer their defense of the city, they're outclassed, and so they're at a disadvantage either way. Mordred, yeah, thank you. I just looked at that again, and he also creates like rainstorms to and fog, yeah. Let's do that. In fact, Morgana does this because she's the spellcaster. Creates fogs and rainstorms to hamper the Camelotian, the players' forces. So, for instance, bowstrings are wet, etc., etc. They can't see because of the fog. All this good nonsense. Let's put this here. Let's put this here. Up here. Alright then. So, improvise and bold. So all you need really for this battle, and thanks Mike for that host, all you really need for this battle is to have a vague idea as to what's going on, give them all terminals and stuff, and then know certain points of the battle things will happen. So, for instance, at some point in the battle, why have I put this? I've copied this twice. I actually meant to put the Morgana thing up here. Never mind. We'll create fogs and rainstorms to hamper the players' forces. So all you need to know is we'll probably think of 2 or 3 points of things which will happen during the game. Thank you. So yeah. Why is this guy so fucked? There we go. So for instance, creating fogs. At some point, Mordred is going to appear, break down a gate, / create this whole shockwave or evil style. Maybe Saint Cuthbert of Cudgel should be on the side of the party if they're legitimated by the Green Knight. Is a D&D figure from Arthurian times. Yeah, so Cuthbert of Cudgel. Let's write him down. His name, I'll put it in like a name bank of stuff to use. Let's put a name bank down here of stuff that we can use throughout the game. Yeah, so we'll have a bunch of names. I'll think of some others as well, to random NPC, and also to remind me for later when I'm writing this stuff up. Fortune lost piece taken by the dragon, Shockwave, Mordred. Okay, so the players know that's the only way to defeat Mordred. Mordred's army is by killing him. And we haven't decided on a name yet, but it also might not matter. They might not ever find out the name of it, Ravenbrand's a cool name. Let me write that down. There we go. Yeah, Ravenbrand. Raven. Let the challenge begin. Killing him and stopping him, gaining control of the last piece of Excalibur. They can attempt to lead him into a trap. It's a trap! So yeah, it's decided to try and lead him into a trap in order to ambush him. Mordred's... he's an arrogant figure, Mordred's own arrogance will lead him to challenging the so-called Knights of the Round Table. It'll be very mocking. Yeah, so he's going to challenge them.
yourself than you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows.
I'm listening to epic, heroic, motivational, badass work comics. I do not want this. Screw you, autoplay. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's meant to like mean he can't bleed and some shit like that. So yeah, that's a good idea. Let's Xander. Mordred also has Scabbard, a sheath even, I guess, sheath, Scabbard, who cares, which means that he cannot bleed, yeah, can't bleed, what's your words, so like, they've got to get, Sable, they're gonna have to, disarm him, have to disarm him of the sheath before. Like, yeah, he should challenge the bear Excalibur's, but like, yeah, exactly, yeah. Challenging whoever, you know, the bearer of Excalibur. When it becomes apparent that the party all have pieces, he will fight them all because he's arrogant. I just don't want to shoot before he can take damage. So there's that kind of aspect, like a rogue would be pretty good in it, so some kind of magic to get the sheath off him is a good idea. Yeah, and disarm him. Let's take this down. Let's take this down a notch. We're going to take damage. We'll figure out stats for him at some point. His own sword, forged of the piece of Excalibur, will be equally as powerful as their own. So they're going to be at an equal playing field when it comes to Mordred, whereas normal guys of this, they're kind of Excalibur-based swords, they're going to have an easier time, but not with him. So he's got that going for him, at the very least. And of course he's got Morgana, who's also going to be helping him out. So, let's think boss fight. Let's just call this boss fight, because boss fight. As powerful as their own, Morgana will be assisting Mordred via magical means, and she can be Morgan Le Fay and Morgana, one person or two of King Arthur's sisters, should it be wizards helping Mordred during the boss fight. I think we're just gonna have Morgana. Yeah, I think we might just have Morgana. I'll think about it as well. How's it going, Josh? You got like 15 minutes to drive home, my friend. Moldark and the Raven Queen, anybody? Alright, talk to you soon, Josh. And she can be dealt with by the party as well. So they've got like two phases. They've got a couple of threats in this. So when you think about a boss fight, they've got they've got to kill Mordred, but at the same time they've got to disarm him of the sheath before they can do anything to him. Thirdly, I guess even, Morgana is going to be like assisting him, so they're going to have to help out. So yeah, then Mordred turns into a giant white wolf and kills the Raven Queen. Apparently he's supposed to protect Arthur from harm. It's a pretty big deal that he's lost, thus Arthur could then be killed, so Mordred couldn't be killed until the scab was taken away somehow. Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, that would make sense how Arthur is dead and how Mordred is alive and, well, in Scotland, building an army to come and kill everyone. Perfect. Yeah, I like this. So, when Mordred is killed, Morgana will attempt to flee. No, she's not saying. Actually, maybe she wouldn't. Maybe she'd go mad, you know. Be enraged by the death. By his death. And she'll go into kind of like proper boss mode. Yeah, no worries, Quintus, me too. Maybe Morgana is guarding the scaffold and projecting its power for herself onto Mordred. Yeah, sure. Should the Archbishop of Canterbury be a high-level cleric helping Mordred during the boss fight? Maybe. Let's think. I mean, possibly, but at the same time, like, Morgana is pretty recognizable figure, and maybe the Archbishop of Canterbury is just kind of funding them, you know. Diff and she'll go into kind of like more evil stuff, I guess, and use all of her power to kill whoever landed a killing blow. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a classic, like, what's that guy whose hair is his power? I've forgotten his name. Samson. Yeah. Is just cut your hair, dude. So yeah. She'll be enraged. Definitely sort of power to cure the land of the kingdom. But she's not just gonna run away. She's gonna try and like fucking kill whoever does this to him. Because she cray. This bitch cray. As we've previously established. Samson, yeah. When the figureheads of the army are killed and the last piece of Excalibur returned to those who are fit to rule Camelot, I guess, is what you'd say. I think we're gonna go for some like crazy light stuff, and Mordred's army like turn over to Camelot. They might like be like, yo, we actually made a big mistake, and now I can see that now that we're free from Morgana's magic, that you guys are totally cool and we should totally join you. Turn to those who are fit to rule Camelot. Mordred's army will be stopped. The Morgana picks up Ravenbrand, uses summon the dragon shockwave, except this time it's safe to fight instead of just smashing the sprint. Yeah, that's a good idea. We stopped the fucking words. The pieces, the items forged from Excalibur will join together in a burst of light, you know. So the old smash and disappear. We've all done that. Hopefully we haven't. Actually. Stretch. A good old 3 hours D&D and chill stretch. We'll join together in a burst of light. And guys, mind blown. Yeah, that's a good idea as well. I like that. About the Toad Grail stuff. So what about, like, they didn't find the Holy Grail earlier, go with Jen's thing earlier, and instead they then get the Holy Grail then. The magic, yeah, I guess it's magic, isn't it? Of the Holy Grail unites the lands of Albion and Mordred's men lay down their arms, finally freed from Morgana's curse. And yeah,